Welcome back to the deep dive. Our mission here is, as always, to take the research you send our way, the articles, the guides, and just get right to the heart of what you need to know.
Exactly. We want to get you fully informed quickly.
And today we're tackling something that is, just so essential to everyday life. It's about self-expression. It's about communication. We're decoding the language of clothes and personal style.
Yeah, this is such a fascinating area. The vocabulary here is just so deeply embedded in, social cues, utility, who we are.
Right.
And the guide we received was remarkably detailed. It was all about achieving real conversational fluency around what we wear.
Yeah.
This is not just about, naming a shirt or a pair of pants.
No, it's way more than that.
It's about mastering the precise structures, the nuanced adjectives for fit and for fabric, and even those very specific phrases you need when you're standing in a fitting room.
Exactly. So our goal today isn't just a glossary. It's not a list of words. We want to pull out the actionable insights, some of the surprising facts, and, the real context behind these terms. Mm-hmm.
We want you to walk away from this deep dive able to know, instantly, the difference between baggy and oversized.
Oh, that's a big one. A very big one.
Or to understand that subtle shift in meaning when you say I'm in scrubs versus I'm wearing scrubs. That level of precision, that's what makes communication really, truly effective.
And that precision is just so crucial. When you're talking about clothes, being vague can cost you time, it can cost you money.
Totally.
Whether you're trying to describe your personal style or explain why a certain shirt just feels wrong or, just successfully buy something, you need specific terminology. It's foundational.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We have to start at the very beginning. The basic, absolute foundational structure you use every single day. Just saying what you have on.
Let's do it.
So the sources gave us 3 main ways of doing this, 3 structural rules for telling someone what you're wearing.
Right.
And they all kind of get to the same point, but they each have this little variation in, emphasis or maybe formality. Yes, and the first one is the most straightforward. It's the one we all learn first. It relies on the verb to wear. This is the absolute default.
Right. I'm wearing plus clothing item.
Exactly. I'm wearing a black sweater. I'm wearing hiking boots. It's the clearest, most direct, and universally understood way to say what you've got on.
It's very active, isn't it? It speaks to the ongoing action. It feels dynamic. It confirms right now the relationship between your body and the garment.
That's a great way to put it.
If someone stops you on the street and asks about your jacket, this is what you'd say. It focuses right on the visibility of that item on you in this moment.
And the linguistics of it back that up. Using the present continuous tense, I am wearing, you're signaling that this outfit defines your physical presentation right now. It's very objective.
Okay, but then the sources gave us a second one, which is slightly different. It uses the verb to have.
Yes. The alternative, I have on plus clothing item.
So I might say, I have on my reading glasses, or maybe I have on a safety vest for work.
Right. And the nuance here is, it's subtle, but it's important. While you can often swap I have on with I'm wearing, linguistically, it often puts a bit more emphasis on the item being sort of possessed or intentionally placed on your body.
So it's less about the action of wearing and more about the status of it being on you.
Precisely. It's more about the state of the item being situated on your person.
I see it as a little more declarative, almost temporary. Like if I have on my work gloves, I put them there for a specific task.
Yes.
And the second I take them off, I no longer have them on. It feels almost like checking an item off a list. I need my wallet, my phone, and I have on my jacket. Check.
That's a perfect way to phrase it. It confirms that conscious decision. Now, the third structure is, I think, the most interesting one because it communicates so much more than just the garment.
The casual one.
The casual one, the state of being. I'm in plus clothing items.
Like saying, I'm just in shorts and a tank top today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This one communicates a whole general state of dress or a mood or a context. It's not just a list of items.
Right. The analysis suggested it implies a whole ensemble or a situation. It connects the clothing not just to your body, but to the role you're playing.
Yes. The role or the mood. That's the key.
And this totally explains why certain professions or, people in uniform almost always use this structure. A nurse says, I'm in scrubs.
Right.
A soldier says, I'm in uniform. Saying I'm wearing scrubs sounds fine, it's correct, but it feels a little detached.
It does.
But saying I'm in scrubs puts you inside that professional identity for the day.
Absolutely. And when you tell someone, I'm in my pajamas, you're not just listing a top and a bottom.
No, you're sending a social signal.
You're sending a huge social signal. You're communicating a state of relaxation. You're saying, I'm not going out, don't come over.
Right. It sets an expectation.
It works so well for communicating comfort, more relaxed mood, where the details, the color, the material, they matter less than the overall feeling.
Okay, so just to synthesize this first part then, I'm wearing is the universal standard. It's objective. I have on puts a little more emphasis on temporary possession or that you consciously put it there.
Right.
And I'm in is the conversational state of being one that gives you all this extra context about mood and your role.
You've got it. That distinction right there is a huge step toward real fluency.
Okay, great foundation. Now we have to layer on the details.
Yes. We've established the structure.
Yeah.
Now for the substance. Because just naming the item is, it's never enough, is it?
Not at all.
For precision, you have to apply modifiers. And this is what our source material called the descriptive trinity: color, pattern, and material.
This is where you start building the actual image for the person you're talking to. If I say jacket, you have a generic shape in your head. But if I say a blue striped wool jacket, you have a highly specific image. And more than that, you understand its function, what it's for.
Exactly. Let's start with the first one, color.
The sources gave us the core palette, the basics.
Right.
Red, blue, black, white, green, and so on.
And the rule of application is pretty standard for English. The color adjective comes before the noun. She's wearing a bright red jacket.
Right. But for a deep dive like this, just saying red is rarely enough. That's the starting point.
It is. In English, we rely so heavily on modifiers for intensity or shade. We don't just say red. We say bright red, deep red, pale blue, navy blue, or hunter green.
Right. That ability to add those intensifiers, words like vibrant or muted or pastel or dark, it just gives you exponentially more precision.
And it's so functional. If you're shopping online,
Yeah.
the difference between royal blue and sky blue is immense.
Oh, totally. Especially if you're trying to match something. So that next layer of descriptive adjectives isn't just flair, it's a real functional requirement.
Okay, so that's color. Next up is pattern. And this is a really specialized vocabulary. Patterns are visual codes.
And the most foundational one is probably striped. Just lines going across or down the fabric. Simple.
Very simple. But then we get into the more nuanced world of checks.
Ah, yes. Checked and plaid. The source was smart to include both because I think, especially in the US, we tend to use plaid for almost everything with squares.
We do. But there's a real difference worth understanding. Checked or checkered usually refers to smaller, more symmetrical squares, often in just two colors, like a gingham pattern or a chessboard.
Okay, simple squares.
Simple squares. Plaid, on the other hand, has very specific roots. It comes from Scottish tartan, which are these complex overlapping checks of different colors and different sizes.
So the classic flannel shirt pattern.
That's usually plaid. It has that historical connection.
Okay.
So a good rule of thumb is that every plaid is technically a checked pattern, but not every checked pattern is a plaid.
That's a great distinction. Knowing that moves you from just basic description into, like, the cultural context of the garment.
Precisely. Next up is polka dot, which is, pretty basic circular dots, evenly spaced.
Right. But it has a fun history, doesn't it?
It does. The name actually became popular in the mid-19th century, and it might be linked to the polka dance, which was hugely popular then.
Huh.
So it's a very specific pattern that often signals something playful, or maybe a retro style. It's not just a random collection of dots.
Okay, what else?
We have floral, which is a really broad term. It covers any design with flowers, from tiny, delicate prints to those big, bold Hawaiian shirt patterns.
So it's about the theme, not the geometry?
Exactly. Then there's camo, the short version of camouflage, a pattern that started in the military for concealment and is now totally integrated into street style and fashion.
Right. Signifying something rugged or edgy.
And finally, you need the anti-pattern.
Yeah.
Solid color. This is so important for being clear. You have to be able to say, no, I'm looking for a solid color shirt. It confirms the absence of any design.
Okay, so that's color and pattern. Now for the third pillar of the Trinity.
The material. The feel of the fabric. This is all about the tactile quality.
This vocabulary dictates comfort, durability, and whether the garment is right for the situation. The source gave us 6 key ones: cotton, wool, leather, denim, silk, and linen.
And we should really spend some time on the properties of each of these, because this is where the deep dive gets, deep.
Let's do it. Start with cotton.
Okay, cotton. It's the king of comfort. It's breathable, it's pretty durable, and it's the backbone of almost all casual wear. T-shirts, socks, you name it.
But it has drawbacks, right?
It does. Its biggest weakness is that it holds moisture, which is why you don't wear a cotton t-shirt for a serious workout. And it wrinkles very easily unless it's blended with something like polyester.
Okay, so contrast that with wool.
Wool is all about warmth, insulation. The fibers are naturally crimped, so they trap air, which provides incredible warmth. Perfect for sweaters, winter coats, suits.
And the downside of wool?
Texture. Some wool can be really scratchy against the skin. That's why high-end wool items use softer types like merino or cashmere, where they have a lining.
Right. Then we have leather.
Leather is about structure and durability. It's what you use for things that need to last and take a beating. Jackets, boots, belts, it molds to your body over time.
And we talk about different types, like suede versus smooth leather.
Exactly. Suede is the fuzzy underside of the hide, while full grain is the smooth, tough outer layer. Very different looks and uses.
Okay, next up, denim, which is kind of a special case, isn't it?
It is. Denim is technically a type of cotton, but it has its own specific twill weave that makes it so rugged. And we don't just talk about denim, we talk about its finish.
Right, like raw denim versus wash denim.
Yes. Raw denim is stiff, dark, and you have to break it in yourself. Wash denim is what most jeans are. They're pre-shrunk and soft from the start. That's a key bit of technical vocabulary for any jeans enthusiast.
Okay, two more. The high-end ones, silk.
Silk just means luxury. It's smooth, it has that unique sheen, and it drapes beautifully. It's a protein fiber, so it's also hypoallergenic. You see it in formal wear, scarves, high-end shirts.
But it's delicate.
Very delicate. It usually needs to be dry cleaned, and it can stain easily.
And finally, linen.
Linen is kind of the opposite of wool. It's famous for being light and cool, which makes it perfect for hot weather. It's incredibly breathable.
But it has one very famous characteristic.
It wrinkles like crazy. And here's the real insight. In many contexts, the wrinkles aren't seen as a flaw. They're actually a sign that it's genuine, high-quality linen.
Huh. So the imperfection is part of the appeal.
It communicates a kind of relaxed, sophisticated style. It says you don't care about being perfectly pressed. The wrinkle is part of its charm.
That's a great takeaway. And to use this vocabulary, you'd say something like, the dress is made of silk, or it's a wool blend sweater.
Exactly. So by combining these three color, pattern, and material, you can now generate an incredibly precise description of any garment you see.
Okay, so we've named a garment, we've described its physical properties. Now, the conversation has to shift to how the clothing actually relates to the person wearing it.
Yes. The shape, the aesthetic. This is the functional and I think the emotional side of style.
Let's start with fit. This is so important. Fit dictates comfort, confidence, how modern something looks.
It's everything. And the 5-point spectrum in our sources gives us the precision we need.
Let's start at the extremes. On one end, you have tight.
Right. And tight almost always has a negative meaning. It's too snug, it's restrictive, it's uncomfortable. You can see the fabric pulling at the seams.
Okay, so moving in from there, we find slim fit.
Now, slim fit is intentional. It's tailored. It's cut to be close to the body to follow your natural shape, but it should still let you move.
So what's the key difference between tight and slim fit?
No stress lines. A slim fit shirt should skim your body, but the buttons shouldn't be pulling. It's a modern, tailored choice, not just a size too small.
Okay. Then, in the middle of the spectrum, we have loose.
This is the language of comfort. Free-moving, easy, prioritizing airflow and mobility over defining your shape. A loose t-shirt, loose pants.
Now, this is where it gets tricky and where I think a lot of people get it wrong. The final two, baggy versus oversized.
Yes, let's spend some real time on this. They are absolutely not the same thing.
I think a lot of people use baggy to just mean anything that's loose.
They do, but it's not precise. Baggy usually implies that the clothing is just too big for you, often in an unflattering way. Think of a sweater that's 3 sizes too big, and the shoulder seams are halfway down your arms. It can imply sloppiness.
Okay, so it's ill-fitting and oversized.
Oversized is a deliberate style choice. The garment was designed and cut to be large for a specific fashion look. The key is in the construction. An oversized jacket will still have the shoulder seam in roughly the right place, but the body will be wide and it will be designed to hang in a specific way.
So the structure is different.
The structure is totally different. An oversized piece has a deliberate silhouette. A baggy piece just has excess fabric everywhere. One is a style statement. The other often just means it doesn't fit properly.
That is such a critical distinction. So if I'm shopping and I say, I want something baggy, I might just get something that's the wrong size.
Thanks.
But if I say, I'm looking for an oversized fit, I'm asking for a specific contemporary aesthetic.
You've nailed it. Fit determines both how you look and how you feel all at once.
Okay, beyond the fit of one item, we need words to talk about the whole look, the overall aesthetic.
The category, the vibe of the entire outfit, what it says about the occasion or your personality.
We have 6 really powerful adjectives for this. Let's start with the 2 main anchors, casual and formal.
Casual is our baseline. It's everyday, relaxed clothes, jeans, t-shirts, sneakers. It's all about comfort and ease. Formal is the opposite. It's for business, special events, places with a strict dress code.
Right. Structured garments, tailored fits. It communicates respect for the occasion.
Exactly. Then you have sporty. This doesn't mean you're literally on your way to the gym.
No, it's an aesthetic.
It's an aesthetic that borrows from athletic wear, performance fabrics, activewear silhouettes, a focus on function and movement. Think track pants paired with a nice jacket.
Okay. Next up is trendy.
And this is the most time-sensitive word on the list. It means you're following the current fashion trends, what's in right now. It communicates an awareness of the fashion cycle.
And it often means your wardrobe needs to be updated pretty frequently to stay current.
That's the nature of trends. Then we have vintage.
Which is about older clothing styles, right? Things that evoke nostalgia.
Yes, but in a modern context, vintage is taken on another meaning too. It's often linked to sustainability. Choosing vintage means you're reusing an existing garment instead of buying new fast fashion.
That's a really important point. It's not just about the look anymore, it's about the ethics behind it.
It can be. And finally, we have classy.
Now, this one is tricky. It feels very subjective.
It is highly subjective, you're right. But in the context of our sources, classy is meant to mean elegant, sophisticated, and often timeless. It's a compliment about the overall taste.
I have to push back a little, though, because what one person thinks is classy, another might find, stuffy or boring.
That's an excellent point, and you're absolutely right. The sources define it broadly, but the implication is that classy focuses on quality fabrics, clean lines, and a good fit. It's often defined by what it isn't.
What do you mean?
It's not flashy, it's not overtly revealing, and it's rarely cheap-looking. The goal of using a word like classy is to summarize an entire aesthetic, like he has a very classy, formal style. It bundles elegance and appropriateness together.
Okay, I see. So these 6 terms are like the essential shorthand for describing the philosophy behind a whole wardrobe, not just one piece of clothing.
Exactly.
All right, let's switch gears. We've talked about passive description. Now let's get active. Let's talk about shopping.
Yes, the real-world scenario. This is where you need this vocabulary the most, and often you're under pressure.
You need specific transactional phrases to find what you want, solve problems, and communicate what you can and can't do.
So let's start with just getting help. When you need assistance, you have to be direct. Our sources broke it down into 3 key areas: size, color, and location.
Fit is number 1. You have to be able to say, "Excuse me, do you have this in a larger size or a smaller size?" It's polite, and it immediately tells the assistant that you like the item, but there's a problem.
And if the problem is visual, you say, "Do you have this in another color?" This is really efficient. It tells them the style, the material, the fit, all that is good. You just want a different palette.
And then the basic logistics. Where are the fitting rooms? You can't know if it fits until you try it on.
And we should probably add a few more advanced ones. For instance, what if the item isn't on the floor?
Good point. You'd say something like, "Could you check if you have this in stock in the back?"
Or if you saw it online first, "I saw this coat on your website. Do you carry the Avenue model in this store?" That bridges the gap between online browsing and the physical shop.
Yeah, and what about asking when things will be back in stock? Like, do you know when you'll be restocking these? That shows you're a serious buyer.
All crucial phrases. Now, once you've started the conversation, you need to state your preferences and any constraints you have.
The basic starting point is the general search phrase. "I'm looking for a winter jacket." This sets the broad expectation.
And you can immediately make that more specific by adding our other vocabulary. I'm looking for a winter jacket, preferably something waterproof and made of a wool blend.
Right, and then you have to communicate your aesthetic constraints. The source gave the example, "I prefer something simple."
Which is great. It uses simple as a big catch-all style modifier. It tells the assistant to avoid anything too trendy or with a loud pattern.
You could also be more specific using the fit words. "I'm looking for a slim fit cut, not anything oversized."
Yes, precise. And then there's the big one, the financial discussion.
The awkward money talk.
It doesn't have to be. The direct phrase is the most professional. "Do you have anything more affordable?" Or, is there a similar style at a lower price point? It's a straightforward question.
And we should add questions about quality and durability. You need to be able to ask, is this real leather or is it synthetic?
Or, how durable is this material? Will it stretch out after a few wears?
Yeah.
You're using the material vocabulary to figure out the long-term value of the item.
And one more that's super important, especially for expensive things. Product care.
Yes. Is this machine washable or is it dry clean only? That can be a deal breaker. Knowing the care requirements before you buy is essential.
Okay, so you've found something, you've tried it on, the shopping trip is nearing its end. Now we get to the feedback and closing the deal.
And the source highlighted some key phrases you might hear from a good sales assistant.
The simplest one is just positive affirmation. It looks great on you, a little confidence boost.
Right. But a more skilled assistant will give you more specific praise. Something like, that color really suits you.
Which connects the color vocabulary directly to you, the wearer.
Or they might use the fit vocabulary. That slim fit cut really defines your shoulders well. They're explaining why it looks good.
And then, of course, there's the practical incentive. Just so you know, this one is on sale. The financial push.
We should also add language for when the fit isn't quite perfect. A good assistant might say, we offer complimentary alterations on the length.
Ah, that's a big one. The idea of tailoring. It's crucial for getting that perfect fit, especially with formal wear.
Absolutely. And finally, you need the language to protect yourself as a consumer.
The exit strategy.
Exactly. You have to ask, what is your return policy, especially on sale items? It's a pragmatic, necessary question to end the transaction.
Okay, that's a ton of individual words and phrases. We've really dissected the language.
We have. So now, let's see how they all work together in a natural conversation. The dialogues in the source material are perfect for this.
Let's do it. Let's look at the first exchange, which is all about social connection and description. I'll read speaker A.
And I'll be B.
Hey, I love your outfit. That shirt is a fantastic shade of forest green.
Thank you. I'm wearing a linen shirt, and those are my favorite raw denim jeans.
This shirt looks really comfortable and loose.
It is. Linen is light and perfect for this warm weather, even if it wrinkles immediately.
I'm always hesitant about linen because of the care. Is that machine washable?
It is actually, but I make sure to air dry it so it doesn't lose its shape.
Okay, so much going on there.
It's a really rich exchange. Speaker A starts with a compliment, but immediately gets specific with advanced color words, not just green, but a fantastic shade of forest green.
Right, and speaker B responds using that I'm wearing structure and immediately uses the material and finished terms we talked about. Linen shirt and raw denim jeans. They're not just blue jeans.
Then the conversation pivots to fit and material properties. A notes that it looks comfortable and loose, using the fit vocabulary. And B confirms this, explaining why it's comfortable. Linen is light, while also acknowledging the material's famous flaw, the wrinkling.
And I love that the conversation includes a question about care. Is that machine washable? It shows that these technical details are a totally normal part of how we talk about clothes. It's not just for shopping.
Absolutely. The whole dialogue is a masterclass in combining social pleasantries with technical precision.
Okay, on to dialogue 2. This one is all about the functional, transactional language in a store.
This is a problem-solving scenario. I'll be the shop assistant this time.
Perfect.
Good morning. Can I help you find anything specific?
Yes, I'm looking for a suit jacket, ideally something slim fit in a charcoal gray color.
Certainly. We have this wool blend model. Do you have a preferred size?
I think I need a medium, but where can I try it on? I'm worried about the shoulders being too tight.
The fitting rooms are just around the corner. If the shoulders are an issue, we can also discuss minor tailoring.
So efficient. The customer starts with a super clear request. Item, suit jacket, fit, slim fit, color, charcoal gray. They've given the assistant everything they need.
And the assistant responds with the material, a wool blend model. Then the customer combines a logistics question, where can I try it on, with a very specific fit concern. They use that negative fit word, tight, to flag a potential problem.
And the assistant's final line is key. They don't just point to the fitting rooms. They offer a solution to the potential problem. We can also discuss minor tailoring.
Yes. They're showing that achieving the perfect fit is a process, and they're there to help with it. This little dialogue is a perfect example of how all these vocabulary points come together to make a purchase successful and informed.
All right, one more. Dialogue 3. This one is less about a specific item and more about personal style and identity.
It's about the philosophy behind your choices.
I really like your look. What kind of clothes do you gravitate toward?
Mostly casual clothes, but I try to keep it classy. So lots of comfortable oversized t-shirts, premium hoodies, and vintage sneakers.
I get that. I prefer the loose fit myself. I can't stand clothes that are too tight or restrictive.
Me too. Comfort is everything. And I think investing in durable, high-quality cotton makes a huge difference compared to fast fashion items.
Okay, so the first line is a prompt to declare a style identity.
And SpeakUp does it perfectly. They combine the general style word, casual, with that aspirational one we talked about, classy. It defines their whole framework. Relaxed, but still elevated.
And then they give specific examples that use that advanced fit and style vocabulary. Oversized t-shirts and vintage sneakers. They're not just wearing big t-shirts, they're wearing a specific intentional style.
Then Speaker A validates that preference using the fit spectrum. They prefer a loose fit and can't stand anything tight. It shows how fit defines our personal comfort zones.
And the conversation ends on the core value of quality, which brings us right back to the material vocabulary. B talks about investing in durable, high-quality cotton. It makes a clear distinction between that and fast fashion.
It just shows the fluidity of this language. You can go from a compliment to a purchase to a discussion about your personal values, all using the same precise toolkit of descriptive words.
Okay, this has been a really comprehensive breakdown. We have a powerful toolkit here. We started with the basic structures I'm wearing versus I'm in. We built that descriptive trinity of color, pattern, and material. And then we refined it all with those crucial distinctions in style and fit, especially clearing up baggy versus oversized.
But the real value of all this knowledge comes from actually using it, from active application.
Absolutely. And the source material gave us a great challenge for this, so we want to pass it on to you, our listener. We want you to pause this deep dive in a moment and actually answer these 3 questions out loud.
Use the full range of the vocabulary we've just covered. Really try to be as precise as possible.
Okay, you ready? Question 1. What are you wearing right now?
And don't just list the items. Use the I'm wearing structure. Try to incorporate at least one color, one material, and one fit adjective. Are you wearing a loose gray cotton hoodie? Describe it.
Okay, question 2. What's your favorite type of clothing to buy and why?
This is where you need to use those style and value words. Do you love the sporty aesthetic because you prioritize comfort? Do you look for vintage clothes because you value durability and sustainability? Explain your reasoning.
And finally, the big test. Question 3. Describe one complex outfit you recently saw that you either loved or hated.
And for this one, you need to combine everything: color, pattern, and material. Talk about the slim fit of the pants or the floral silk scarf. Analyze why the combination of all those elements worked or why it didn't.
Fantastic. We really hope doing that exercise shows you how much more clearly you can now talk about your style and your preferences.
Being precise about clothing is really about being precise about a huge, visible part of how you present yourself to the world. It lets you move beyond just, I like that, to a real technical, informed description.
Yeah, you've gone from saying, that's a nice shirt, to being able to recognize and say, that's an oversized check linen shirt, which is a surprisingly classy choice for a casual meeting.
And that level of detail, that precision, it just changes the game in terms of communication.
And that concludes today's deep dive. We went all the way from basic sentences to the subtle properties of materials like the intentional wrinkle of linen to the practical language you need in a fitting room, including tailoring and returns.
It's a really robust, high-utility vocabulary we've built. And the language of style is intensely practical, but we also have to remember its social function. It helps us describe ourselves, and it helps us categorize the world we see.
So since we now have the vocabulary to dissect an outfit with this level of precision, knowing if a shirt is silk or cotton, slim fit or baggy, we want to leave you with a final provocative thought.
Consider this. How often does the precise vocabulary used to describe an outfit immediately shift your perception of the person's status, their intent, or even their personality before they even say a single word?
Because language doesn't just describe reality, it shapes it.
So keep observing and keep analyzing that silent language of clothing.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the decoded language of style. We'll catch you next time.